Hi everyone, happy new moon in Aries and happy April. Okay, I can't believe it's a new month, but just positive vibes, hoping for a really great month. We got out of Mercury retrograde. The start of March was very interesting, so let's be grateful, and if we're here, and we're gonna make April the best we can make it. No fluff, being real, but just making it the best we can. Okay. So first I want to say, I usually have my charts up, and if you've been writing with me for a long time, you notice that a lot of my edits I kind of stopped doing, but I'm hoping to get them back up. I have my new camera there. I got my mic, so another mic. So it's all working out great. So, okay, so what I want to focus on is the most important aspects of this new moon. Okay, so lots of things going on. If you're a Gemini, you have some fire to mix in with your air, which is really good. Okay, if you're a fire sign, you got a house of air to help you be more creative. So listen to all those extra creativity if you are any fire sign, especially Aries. Okay, so let's get to it. Gemini, you have Mars in your sign, and you're in the 5th house, Leo's house, which is a house of the sun, which is a house of fire. So you got double fire. You have Aries fire. Aries, you have Mars fire, ruled by Aries. So this is great. So for Geminis, I have my notes here, the most important thing. So for Geminis, it's more communication for you naturally as an air sign, and it's bringing out more confidence, which is great. So you're tapping into your perfect opposite element, which is fire. Okay, and your opposite on the chart is Aries, is Sagittarius, which means that you and Sagittarius are pretty much the same, but you get things done differently, going for the same goal. I know I keep saying that, but that's all what the opposite signs are mainly like. Okay, they're similar. They just operate on a different element. That's it. Okay, it's kind of like it was so funny, but just thinking of the Avatar, the Fire Nation, the earth, the water, the air. It's just different ways of existing, right? And he basically want to feel protected, safe, manifest, whatever, work with your element for your purpose, whatever that is, right? Hopefully for good for yourself, right? But okay, so what you want to really do is connect to the celestial energy at your location. So you want to get on the chart. I'm not going to go over every location's chart, but for my location, the high peak is at 1:50 early in the morning. Okay, so AM. So before you go to sleep, you want to, on the 4th, you want to connect to that energy and just kind of have that mindset as you go to sleep, relax, wake up, and you can do your meditation. If you want to stay up, you can stay up and actually meditate at that time. Okay, so whatever it is that you want to do. So let's focus on the astrology part of it. We have Chiron in Aries. We have the moon in Aries. We have the sun in Aries, and Uranus is hanging out there over in Taurus a little bit. Okay, so in this section that we are in, it is really about working on self. Okay, it's really about working on self, and we want to project everything out by the full moon. So right now it's about working on self, and with the Chiron energy that is there, we want to focus on being stronger, and I'll get to that later. So Mars in Gemini, more communication, more confidence. Okay, it's our opportunity to say, okay, what am I good at, and how can I just build on that? Now let's talk about Chiron, right? So if in your birth chart you have Chiron in Aries, okay? But you are slower to get things done, okay? You won't be as aggressive as you need to be, excuse me, to protect yourself, to stand up for yourself, to guide yourself, and so on. So let's focus on the positive. So instead of me saying in this video the negative, I want to just say what you should work on, because that's what we want. We want to know the negative, right? Because I'm not fluff. We want to know the negative, but what do I need to do? That's whenever I talk to someone, I'm like, what do I need to do? That's what I need to learn, right? So be proactive and be more assertive. Okay. So at this full moon, regardless if you don't have Chiron in Aries in your birth chart, you can manifest, or what you should focus on is two things: healing your heart chakra, if that's what you want to do, healing your heart. Okay. You want to focus on working on yourself. So that could be focusing on Saturn energy, Uranus energy. Okay. And the heart chakra, okay? Also self-confidence, also communication. So those are 5 things. Saturn energy, Uranus energy, the meaning of those. Mars, of course, right? Mars, that would be the confidence. Then you want to focus on that Gemini element of communication, communicating with yourself, whatever communication means to you, whatever confidence means to you, right? Confidence, communication, okay? And there's another one, just strengthening yourself overall. Okay. Strengthening yourself. Okay. So you want to be proactive. You want to be assertive. You want to have healthy confidence. Okay. And aggressiveness. All right. You want to be competitive in your society. So you have a goal. You want to do something. So whether you like to compete with people or not, I don't think of myself as competing with anyone. I'm competing with myself. I'm trying to grow. I'm trying to learn. So however you want to look at it, however your chi flows, your energy flows, right? So it's about, maybe you're not competing with someone, but maybe they're competing with you. So it's really protecting your energy if you just stay focused in on doing what you enjoy, what you're doing, because you can never, competing with someone else is a waste of energy and it's stupid. I've always thought that. I never get that. You're just competing with yourself in a positive way, pushing yourself to grow, feeling positive about something, excited about something, and then trying to manifest it in reality, right? It's kind of like you come up with the lyrics, you come up with a song, and now you hear the music, but you don't really play, but that's not your strong point. So you find someone to put music to that, and you're like, you're humming it out. And I always thought that was weird when I'm like humming it out, like, I hear this. And then I watched a video and a producer actually beatbox and make sounds like what I was doing, but has the ability to play the instrument and actually use a computer to replicate that sound. So a lot of times when we think that we're doing something in our own creative mode, we might think, oh, that's silly, that's stupid. But then when we see someone else do it, we're like, I'm normal. I thought it was weird this whole time, so, it's still weird, but it's like, oh, I'm not the only one that does that. Okay, cool. Communication, right? So you're not alone, right? So it's just being in a competitive society and surviving that. You can work on that at this new moon. Surviving competition. How do I survive competition? How do I deal with other people's personality trying to compete with me, but I'm doing what I'm doing, or, you're doing what you're doing. I'm just going to use but, it's relatable to anyone, right? So if it relates to you. So it's just about surviving that competition mode when you're just trying to create. So you don't focus on that. End of story. So people who are too harsh or ruthless, right? So with this Chiron energy, if you have Chiron in Aries in your birth chart, you'll struggle with people who are too harsh and ruthless, and you don't know how to deal with that, because here you have Aries, which is strong, but then you have this Chiron energy in there that is out of its placement, if you will. Okay. And Chiron for this, I don't know what house your Chiron and Mars is in your birth chart, but for this new moon, to be clear, it's in the 3rd house, which is Gemini's house, which is air, which is a house of air, and it's the house of communication, throat chakra, voice. Okay. So, excuse me. So, you want to be able to handle people who are harsh and ruthless without you looking like, you know, an A, right? So without you looking bad. So this working with a Saturn energy at this new moon. Okay, so my video is going to have, I can't help it, it's going to have astrology and useful meditations in there. That's what it has to have. I can't just have it just be astrology, because then what's the remedy, you know? So it's going to have a little bit of gumbo crossover in it. Okay, so now that I have the information, the theory, how am I going to use it? How am I going to practice it? So I think the best thing is through exercise, movement, but the mind, a mantra, okay? Words, okay? That's just how I operate as an air sign. I have to have a balance of 2 things, right? To balance things out. So people who are too harsh and ruthless, how do you deal with them without you coming off looking bad or feeling horrible? Protecting your energy, okay? Don't waste your money or your energy on trips or purchasing items to make up for how you feel, okay? So if you find it hard to deal with a tough situation, whether it's family, work, friends, you can't make up for it by spending money or wasting your energy trying to comfort that person who doesn't care about your feeling. You're going to lose, okay? It's just not going to work. So in me researching the Chiron in the Aries, this is what's coming to me. Okay, you won't get the result you want from people or yourself if you go out of your way to please them, okay? So you're not going to get the result you want in communicating with the person. Maybe the person made up their mind, that's how they are, and good or bad, they're just focusing on what they want, and they're not really focusing on maybe your solution or your point of view. It probably doesn't matter to them, and that's fine. You're going to have to find an understanding there and move forward, right? Okay, pleasing. Let's see if I said that already. Yes. Pleasing others who don't respect you never truly works. So you can't please this person. No matter what you do, you can't please people who are focused on one thing and they see their goal and they want to get it and they're stressed out and they're worried or whatever the reason is. And that's what they're focusing on. They want their goal and they're not really in the moment. They're just like not focused at all. Okay. And you can't please these people, okay? Pleasing others who don't respect you never truly works, and that's true. You can't please someone that won't even take the time to respect your existence or appreciate your existence, okay? You're left feeling drained and sad. Trying to talk to someone that's not listening, you're going to feel drained. It's like you're wasting your energy. We're back to wasting our energy again. And then that ends up making you feel sad. Okay. You feel like, okay, I'm really trying every day. It's a new thing. I try to say, you've even talked about it with the person, but it doesn't matter. It's like a repeating cycle. Like sometimes people just get caught in a cycle of how they communicate, how they act. And it really won't get better. It just is that way. And so a lot of times, a lot of people really don't mature until they're in their 50s. If they're lucky to live that long, or in their 60s, they won't mature. And it's really sad because that's a lot of wasted years. So study Saturn and Uranus energy. So the Saturn energy is about, they say order and so on, order, restrictions that are good for you, but also order to get things done a certain way. I closed down this page that had it really good, but excuse me. So to counteract this, if you are looking at your astrology, but you're like, what should I do? A lot of times when you study astrology, you end up going into meditation and other deeper thought practices, right? So you want to focus on that Saturn energy of finding patience towards others, okay? And then finding that patience towards others, that Saturn energy is going to give you the order, the structure you need within yourself, but you really have to balance out your chakras and really balance out yourself so that you'll get that order and discipline, because you're knowing yourself by studying your birth chart, okay? So the patience towards others, then also patience to fulfill your responsibilities to yourself. So you're responsible for yourself. This kind of makes me think of our life path when dealing with that Saturn finger. I was going to do it wrong. Dealing with the Saturn finger, the middle finger, right? The mudra, right? So the Shuni mudra, and also a meditation where your middle finger is in alignment with your third eye. So that's a meditation I'm going to teach in my workshop for the new moon here in town. So you want that patience to fulfill your responsibility to yourself. So that's putting you back on track with your life purpose. Okay. So everything ties in, you know, so when you really kind of peel away the layers, you're finding out, okay, it's the new moon in Aries. Aries is very powerful. It's the first sign. They have their great quality. Every zodiac has their negative quality. We all have something that we came in here to work on. All right. We have many houses, and, you know, this one is the third house, Gemini's house. Aries is in Gemini's house of communication, of air, of creativity, of voice, throat chakra. And with this Chiron in there, with this new moon, you want to plant new seeds of healing. Okay. It all ties in. So when you're working, let me bring it up right here. So when you're working with the Uranus energy, it's about that power of awakening. Now, the Uranus energy is not in Aries. It's next door. It's in Taurus. Okay. So, and it's in the IC. So it's really going within. Okay. And Taurus is in the fourth house. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4 of Cancer. Okay. So that Taurus, that water and earth is next door. Okay. So they're going to work out that compassion and that home energy. And there's only Uranus in there. So it's really for Taurus, it's really finding your power at your home base. Okay. It's really connecting to, just awakening to your own, power. Okay. And how you're going to, share or change. Okay. How are you going to change, and how you're going to face your own truth to whatever is going on in your life. Okay. Since I went to Taurus, I'll go to everyone then. Gemini has Mars. So Mars is about more confidence for Gemini. Okay. All right. And give me a second. I have to look this up. If I don't look it up, I'm not going to know. Okay. So, all right. So give me a moment. Okay. So now Cancer has the North Node, and the North Node is about where you want to go. So for Cancer, what you really need to focus on is where you want to go in your life. Where do you want to be? Especially when it comes to work. Okay. And that is so true, because I know a Cancer that's going through that right now. Back up to Gemini. Gemini, the fifth house, is Taurus, is, the fifth house is, well, fourth house. Taurus is in the fourth house, excuse me. So Taurus is in the fourth house, and that's home. So we covered that. Gemini is in the fifth house, and it's more of, family and creativity. Okay. So just a lot of Geminis will be focusing on that. Cancer, you're focusing on where you want to go in your life. That's really a big issue for you. For Leo, you're focused mostly on receiving money that's owed to you. A lot of you will be focusing on that. what you want to share and what you don't want to share. Okay, I'm not going to go too deep into it, but that's the main thing. Okay, and Scorpio, you're dealing, and not Scorpio, Virgo, you're dealing with the same thing as well. But mainly Virgo, you're going to be dealing mostly with letting go of how someone acted towards you, behaved towards you, and how you can also be creative. Like, what's the next chapter you want to do? A lot of you Virgos have 2 great ideas and you have to work through them. Some of you might have 3 great ideas, like your next step, your next move. What are you going to do? Libra, you're mainly focusing on advancing in your work so that you can have more money for the things you want to, for mainly travel, but also where you want to go. And you're going to be researching a lot of things that has to do with law that's going to help you to get there. Okay. Scorpio is going to be working a lot on career and also finding a new place to work, some of you, but focusing on career. Some of it is making your home better, but just carving out like a new work path, something new for you. Okay, Sagittarius, you're mainly going to be focusing on connecting with people, like a new way of connecting with people so that you can reach your goals and you can grow more. Okay, it's all about that Jupiter and expanding. Okay. And Scorpio, you feel like you have a lot of attention on you, and you do, because you're going to be doing a lot of bigger, brighter things. And Sagittarius, you're falling in on that as well. Okay. But a lot of attention is going to be on Scorpio for this new moon to the full moon period. Okay. Capricorn, it's a lot. Some of you are thinking about your retirement. Don't overthink your life and thinking that things should be greater right now or better right now. Don't overthink it. It's just what you're going through right now. Just, let it go. A lot of getting organized. So try not to be too harsh on other people, but you really need to, especially if you're in charge of something big, you really need to make sure that the people that are in charge below you are actually doing what they're supposed to do. And you also have the south node. I'm like north node, south node. So the south node. So it's really a lot of lessons that are coming up is what you're supposed to be doing. What you're supposed to be learning in this life. So if you're too harsh, you need to find a new way of dealing with people so they don't leave. You don't have a big turnover. You want to get your message through clearly, but not in a harsh way. Okay. And also be more spiritually connected to people, like really not just hear what they're saying, but really be connected to what's going on. So you can hear what someone is saying, but is there undertone of something is not right, but they can't really freely say because they don't want to get in trouble. They don't want to get someone else in trouble. You really have to really see things for what they really are. Okay. Aquarius, it's really fighting for yourself and really peeling away what you've been told to be and really finding out who you are and who you want to be, and find your own truth and not just the truth that was given to you that you believe to be true. Pisces really need to focus on healing themselves, fighting for what belongs to them, that you feel belong to you, right? What you know is yours. It's like you within yourself, okay? And having really the best communication you can have when it comes to, taking care of yourself, healing yourself, maybe having time for yourself, anything to heal yourself. You really want to do that, and having a really big spiritual connection, especially with Neptune there. So really connecting with yourself and actually being really good with your money is really good. And your skills and bettering your skills, especially when it comes to money, and really being you, but having a solid structure for your life, like a foundation for your survival. Okay. All right. So I kind of ran through everyone's chart there. So I want to go back to the Aries new moon, Chiron, the sun and the moon in the third house of Gemini, air sign. Okay. So we really want that Saturn energy for stability and strength. And we're dealing with the element of ether when we're working with the middle finger, the Saturn finger. So if you're doing, it doesn't have to be the heart chakra. For anything that you're doing, you really want to work with the Saturn energy, would be really good at this new moon. Okay. And Saturn is in Capricorn. That's where the planet is. But when it comes to the healing, you can also relate that to Chiron as well. If you want to do meditation, if you want to do some kind of focus, if you're Capricorn, and your Cancer, you can really especially work with the Saturn energy as well in this new moon, along with the Chiron for healing the heart chakra. Okay. And when you're working with the chakras, again, you want to heal everything, balance all, excuse me, balance all the chakras, and then move into focusing on whichever chakra you feel you want to work on at this new moon. So whatever issues you are facing, you can find a chakra for that. If you have a question, ask it and I'll answer it in the comment. Okay. I think I covered everything. So, yeah, the new moon in Aries. So that's it. Okay. Yeah, it's a lot of air and fire, this new moon. So plant that new seed of what you want to accomplish. And a big connection, a pretty cool connection is that Jupiter of expanding yourself, okay, expanding your healing, expanding your communication along with Jupiter. Also that Saturn energy towards the Chiron energy is very strong as well, okay, and that Saturn to Neptune energy is very strong as well. Okay, that Neptune energy of psychic dreams, of your intuition, of knowing things before it happened, that spiritual connection to yourself, you know, even it has a strong connection to the water element too, if you want to connect to that. But mainly, this new moon is very much fire. Okay, and it's very much healing yourself and communicating and really working on your own confidence and your own communication to gain that confidence within. All right, so I hope this helps. It's a longer video than I thought it would be, but I enjoyed it, just going over everything, and I hope you guys enjoyed it too. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. The tarot videos are coming up, so I'll see you. Peace.